This video is about applying the properties of a parallelogram. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral with two pairs of opposite sides that are parallel, which means that they are never going to intersect. So AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to BC. A couple other properties that are useful in parallelograms then is that the opposite sides are congruent. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the opposite angles are congruent. If it's a quadrilateral, then the consecutive angles are supplementary, which means that the angles next to each other are going to add up to 180, and this has to do because of the same side interior angles with our parallel lines. And last, the diagonals bisect each other. So if we have diagonals, they are bisecting them into two congruent parts. They are not all four parts going to be equal though. So let's use these properties to solve for some variables. PQRS is a parallelogram by definition. Find the values of x and y. So in this case, we're dealing with the sides. We know that the sides are parallel. We also know that the sides are congruent, which is much more helpful when we are solving. So we can set 5x plus 2 equal to 32. When we solve, we get 5x equals 30, divide by 5, so x is 6. And we also have 4y plus 2 is equal to 26. We can subtract 2 on both sides, so 4y equals 24. When we divide, y is 6. In number 2, we again know that our opposite sides are congruent. So we have 10x minus y is equal to 22 plus 3y. So we're going to put the y on the same side as x. 10x minus 4y equals 22. We also have 6x plus y is equal to 4x plus 8. We can subtract 4x on both sides, so 2x plus y is equal to 8. So our two equations are 10x minus 4y equals 22, and 2x plus y equals 8. So we're going to have to solve by elimination, so we can multiply the second equation by 4. So we have 10x minus 4y equals 22. And we have 8x plus 4y equals 32. So when we add straight down, we get 18x is equal to 54. So when we divide by 18, x is 3. Then we can substitute back in. So 10 times 3 minus 4y equals 22. 30 minus 4y equals 22. Negative 4y equals negative 8. When we divide by negative 4, y is 2. So we have 3, 2. PQRS is a parallelogram by definitions for x and y values. So in a parallelogram, we know that we have two angle relationships. We know that the opposite angles are equal or the consecutive angles are supplementary. So here, because we have angle measurements, it's probably easier to set our opposite angles equal to each other. So 8x plus 22 equals 102. 8x equals 80. When we divide, x is 10. And then we have 5y plus 3 equals 78. We can subtract 3, so 5y is 75. When we divide by 5, y is 15. In number 4, with the x and y, it's probably easier to use our consecutive angles because they have the same variables. Consecutive angles are supplementary. So we have y squared plus 4y plus 2y plus 20 equals 180. Y squared plus 6y plus 20 equals 180. So we can subtract 180 from both sides. Y squared plus 6y minus 160 equals 0. So we need two numbers that multiply to negative 160 and add to 6. So we have y plus 16 and y minus 10. So y is 16, negative 16, and 10. Same thing for x. X squared minus 3x plus 140 equals 180. We can subtract 180 to both sides. So x squared minus 3x minus 40 equals 0. Two numbers that multiply to negative 40 and add to 3 are negative 8 and positive 5. So when we switch our signs, x is 8 and x is negative 5. Dealing with more angles in a parallelogram, we want to find our missing angle measurements. So remember we said opposite angles are congruent, so 53 and y is also going to be 53. And our angles next to each other are supplementary, so we can subtract from 180. So 180 minus 53 is going to give us 127 degrees for x and z. In number 6, we have a 71 degrees, so we know W is 71 degrees. Now, because we know that our sides are parallel, the line going through the middle is going to be our transversal. So we have alternate interior angles. So we know that X is going to be 26 degrees. To get Y and Z, we know two angles, so we can subtract from 180. So 180 minus 26 minus 71 gets us 83. So these are 83 degrees. In number 7 then, we can use our alternate interior angles again to be congruent. So we have 37, S is also going to be 37 degrees, 24, U is also going to be 24 degrees. We can use our vertical angles, so 81 and 81. We can subtract 81 from 180 to get that Y and T are going to be 99 degrees. Then in most triangles, we know two of the angles, so we can subtract 180 minus 37 minus 81 gets us 62 degrees. 180 minus 24 minus 99 gets us 57 degrees. ABCD is a parallelogram. Solve for x and y. So we know in a parallelogram that our diagonals are bisected into two congruent parts. So we have 11x equals 22. So when we divide, x is 2. And we have 3y minus 6 equals 24. We can add 6 to both sides. So we get 30. Y is 10. In number 8, our diagonals bisect each other. So we have 4y minus 6 equals 2y plus 40. We get 2y minus 6 equals 40. 2y equals 46. So y is 23. And we have 9x plus 44 equals 6x plus 68. So we get 3x plus 44 equals 68. We can subtract 68 from both sides. 3x equals 24. When we divide by 3, x is 8. Our last part, we're going to complete statements about parallelograms. So we know that angle ABC, this whole angle, is equal to the opposite angle, which is going to be angle ADC. BCD, this angle, is going to be equal to angle DAB, the opposite angle. BC is going to be congruent to the opposite side AD. AB is going to be parallel to the opposite side CD. Angle ACD, so this is an alternate interior angle using our parallel lines and our transversal. We would say that that is going to be congruent to angle BAC. And then the last part, we have angle BAD, which is this angle, plus angle ABC, which is this whole angle. They're angles that are next to each other, so they are going to be supplementary, which means that they are going to equal 180 degrees.